Secrets have a way of knocking, sometimes literally. Bekky thought her problems were limited to her arrogant attitude and a quiet gateman, until the danger outside her gate turned very real. Now every knock could be the last. Welcome back to the Billionaire Gateman, Part 2. The truth is closer than she thinks. Kunle's hand came out of his pocket, and Bright caught the metallic glint. A small pistol, hidden low. Bright didn't wait. He stepped forward, pretending to adjust the tablecloth, and blocked Kunle's view of Bekky. "Ma," he said quickly, "please just trust me. Go inside your room now." Bekky frowned. "You're crazy." Before she could finish, Kunle moved. In a split second, Bright shoved Bekky to the side and grabbed Kunle's wrist, twisting it sharply. The gun clattered to the floor. Gasps filled the room as guests backed away. Bright slammed Kunle's arm against the wall, forcing him to drop to his knees. Security rushed in, but Kunle was already shouting, "He's lying! This gateman is mad! He's trying to frame me!" Bekky's face turned pale. "Kunle, why would you bring a gun to my house?" Kunle's eyes darted nervously. It's not mine." Bright stepped back, letting the guards take him. As they dragged Kunle away, he locked eyes with Bright, a look that promised revenge. Later that night, Bekky stood on the balcony, arms folded. "I don't know who you are, Bright," she said coldly, "but you're attracting too much trouble to my house. I don't like it." Bright looked at her evenly. "Sometimes trouble comes for you, Ma, even if you don't invite it." Down on the street, the same black SUV from before rolled slowly past the mansion, and this time Bright recognized the driver. The SUV's tinted window rolled down slightly, revealing a scarred face Bright knew all too well. Chief Duro, one of the most dangerous men in Lagos's underground world. Bright's jaw tightened. He stepped toward the gate, but the SUV sped off into the night. The next morning, Bekky was already in a foul mood. "Bright, you were supposed to wash the driveway before I came out. What is wrong with you?" "I was at the gate, Ma," Bright replied evenly. Bekky hissed. "Gate, gate, gate. Is that all you know? If you can't do this job well, I'll find someone who will." Bright said nothing, just nodded. Around noon, a courier arrived with a package for Bekky. Anita signed for it and took it inside. Minutes later, a scream echoed from the living room. Bright ran in to find Bekky trembling, staring at an open box. Inside was a single red rose and a note. "You have something we want. Give it to us, or you'll regret it. D." Becky's hands shook. "Who is D? What is this?" Bright picked up the note. "It's a warning." Unseen by both of them, a tiny black device blinked under the edge of Becky's sofa. A tracker. That night, Bright swept the living room carefully. His fingers brushed the sofa, and he found the tracker. He pocketed it, his mind racing. Whoever planted it was watching Becky's every move. Meanwhile, Bekky called Lola in panic. "Babe, I got this weird note. I think someone's after me." Lola gasped. "You need to get police involved." Bekky shook her head. "I don't trust them. I'll just increase my own security." But the very next morning, Becky's car tires were slashed. A dead crow was left at the gate. Bright inspected the scene silently, then looked at her. "This isn't random. They're sending messages." Becky's voice trembled despite herself. "Why are they after me?" Bright hesitated. He knew the answer, but telling her would reveal too much. Instead, he said, "We need to be careful. Starting now, you don't leave this house without me knowing." She glared. "You don't give me orders, Gateman." That night, while Bekky slept, a shadow climbed over the fence, holding a rope and a blade. Bright was awake before the intruder's feet hit the ground. He grabbed a metal rod from beside his bed and moved silently toward the figure. The man crept toward Becky's window, tying the rope to the balcony. Bright swung the rod hard, knocking him off balance. They fought in silence, exchanging brutal blows until Bright overpowered him. When Bright yanked off his mask, his stomach dropped. It was Tayo, one of Chief Duro's men, and an old enemy. Bright dragged him to the gate, but before he could call anyone, Tayo smirked. "You can't protect her forever. You know why we're here." Bright's grip tightened. "Stay away from her, Tayo. This is your last warning." Tayo just laughed. "Tell that to the boss." The next morning, Bekky saw the bruises on Bright's arm. "What happened to you?" she asked. "Nothing, Ma. Just doing my job." In the city, Chief Duro received a phone call. "Boss, he's protecting the woman. Should we proceed?" Duro smiled coldly. "Yes, but this time, hit him where it hurts." 2 days passed quietly. Too quietly. Bekky began to relax, believing the worst was over. Then one evening, as she drove home from a meeting, a black SUV swerved in front of her. She tried to brake, but another car rammed her from behind. Her vehicle spun and slammed into a street pole. Bright, stationed at the gate, saw the chaos unfold down the street. Without thinking, he sprinted toward the wreckage. Bekky was trapped inside, blood trickling from her forehead. Smoke curled from the hood. Bright yanked open the door and pulled her out just as the car caught fire. She coughed, eyes fluttering. "You saved me." Before he could answer, a motorcycle roared past, and the rider threw a small package at Bright's feet. Inside was a note. "Leave her, or next time we take her life." That night, Bright sat in his room, staring at the note and loading a pistol. Bekky woke up in a private hospital suite, her head bandaged. Anita sat beside her, but Bright was nowhere to be seen. "Where's Bright?" Bekky croaked. Anita hesitated. He stepped out to talk to someone. Moments later, Bekky heard voices outside the door. She got up quietly and peered through the crack. Bright was speaking to a tall, well-dressed man, a government minister she recognized from TV. "We can't delay much longer," the minister was saying. "Your cover's almost blown." Bright's reply was firm. "I know, but she's not ready to know the truth." Becky's eyes widened. "Cover? Truth?" The minister placed a hand on Bright's shoulder. "You've played the Gateman long enough. When this is over, you'll go back to your life." Bekky stepped back in shock, realizing Bright was far more than he seemed, and determined to find out exactly who he really was. Bekky couldn't sleep. Bright's words, "She's not ready to know the truth," kept ringing in her ears. The next morning she called Lola. "Babe, I think my Gateman is hiding something big. I overheard him talking to a minister." Lola laughed. "And maybe he's a spy, or a secret agent, or a billionaire." Bekky frowned. "Don't joke. I need to find out." Later that day, while Bright was outside, Bekky sneaked into his tiny room. She rummaged through the small drawer and found something that made her heart pound, a photograph of Bright standing beside an older man in a lavish compound, the same man she had once seen on the cover of Forbes Africa. Footsteps approached, and the doorknob turned. Bright was back. Bright entered, his eyes instantly landing on the photo in Becky's hand. For a long moment, neither spoke. "Why were you in my room?" Bright asked quietly. Bekky swallowed. "Who are you, Bright? And don't say Gateman." Instead of answering, Bright took the photo and slid it into his pocket. "Stay out of my business, Ma." That evening, Bekky made a bold move. She invited a handsome, wealthy-looking man named Patrick to the house and introduced him as her boyfriend. Bright opened the gate for them without a word, but his eyes stayed on Patrick the entire time. At dinner, Bekky laughed loudly at all of Patrick's jokes, occasionally glancing at Bright through the window to see if he reacted. As Patrick left that night, Bright watched him get into his car and secretly slip a folded note to a man in a black SUV. Bright unfolded the note Patrick had dropped after the SUV pulled away. It read, "We meet tomorrow. She must be gone by Friday." Bright's hands clenched into fists. He was done watching silently. That night, he sent a coded message to someone. "Activate protection plan. Target compromised." The next morning, Bekky noticed his cold demeanor. "Why are you looking at me like I'm the enemy?" Because you've let the enemy into your house, Bright replied. Bekky frowned. What do you mean? Before Bright could answer, his phone rang. His expression darkened as he listened. Understood. I'll handle it. He turned to Bekky. You need to pack your things. Now. Bright just crossed a line, revealing part of a truth that could destroy everything. But the men at the gate aren't here for pleasantries, and Becky's life may never be the same again. Watch the final part 3 to find out what happened next. Subscribe so you could see part 3 when it comes. Don't forget to like and also share your thoughts in the comments section.